The season may only be in its infancy, but as the games keep coming, the pressure grows on the division's strugglers and the optimism increases for those heading in the right direction. There are certainly plenty of positives in this corner of South East London after Charlton's unbeaten beginnings this term. Tonight, Nottingham Forest are here, aiming to put a stop to all that. What a start it has been for Charlton Athletic. They start the night in third, with top spot potentially on offer. A couple of the teams we expected to see up there from the off are there, i.e. Leeds and West Brom. Sheffield Wednesday went top with victory over Luton last night. Bristol City's win at Derby saw them into the top half. 7 teams are tied on 7 points. Well, as we know, anything is possible in the Championship. We saw that right throughout the campaign last season, and already there have been some surprises this time around too. Most notably, near the top of the table, of course, Charlton Athletic, and that's why we're so interested by what we're going to see here tonight, Don Goodman.
Well, we are, and what a job Lee Bowyer has done, and you could argue they've lost some really key players, but the most important piece of business Charlton Athletic did was keeping a hold of Lee Bowyer, and it looked as if they very nearly didn't. So, you know, they've started off fantastically. They've brought the confidence of a successful season last season into the Championship, which so often many teams promoted manage to do. But Forest will be here to test them. They're a very ambitious football club. I think of the two, you would imagine that at the start of the season, when they were discussing ambition, Forest would be the ones saying, yep, we can be towards the top end, and Charlton would be the ones saying, well, look, let's consolidate. So it's a fascinating game. It's very early in the season, but if Charlton can again manage to win this game, what a statement and what a start that would be.
Well, early days in the season they may be, but both these sides have already shown their ability and their Achilles heels at times. It's going to be a long, hard season, so midweek battles like these should not be taken lightly. Could be a very important night for these two teams, and indeed for those teams around them in the table, because even though only a handful of matches have been played, the standings are starting to take shape. Charlton fans are delighted to see their team right up there with some of the big boys. The stage is set. The teams are ready to go through the usual housekeeping. So let's confirm some of the lineups for you. Charlton boss Lee Bowyer makes 4 alterations to the side, which drew 2-2 at Barnsley on Saturday. Adedeji Oshilaja replaces the injured Chris Solly at right back. Elsewhere, Jason Pearce, Darren Pratley and Johnny Williams make way for Naby Sarr, Sam Field and debutant Erhan Öztürk. Lyle Taylor leads the line, having scored 12 goals in his last 13 league games. Forest are too different from their 3-0 victory over Birmingham City. There's a Championship debut for Carl Jenkinson at right back, allowing Matty Cash to push forward into midfield. Thiago Silva comes into midfield in place of Joe Lolly. João Carvalho has travelled, but has only just started full training, so is not going to be risked just yet. Well, it should shape up to be a fascinating night here, not least because both sides certainly know how to attack and have been pretty solid at the back so far in their outings in the Championship this season.
Yeah, but I think especially for Nottingham Forest, I think, yes, the home win 3-0 against Birmingham City was much needed, but I think Sabri Lamouchi would have been thrilled to keep a clean sheet, the first one of the season. And of course, that's something that Charlton haven't managed to do so far, so that's something that Lee Bowyer and his team will be desperately keen to do anytime soon.
Oliver Langford has the whistle tonight. And just like the two teams, he takes part in his 4th match of the season. One of those games, though, came at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, when he grabbed the opportunity to referee his first Premier League game after the originally appointed Graham Scott got stuck in traffic. Always a nightmare for officials and commentators alike.
Absolutely. Moving swiftly on.
Well, the two captains going head-to-head for the toss. And of course, in a week which penalty takers have been under the spotlight, Lyle Taylor's nonchalant late spot kick to rescue a point at Barnsley was truly a moment to enjoy for Charlton fans. Once again, he will look to add to his tally, having scored 3 goals in 3 championship starts this term. So all the usual preparations are done. Now all remains are the final words in the huddle. Plenty of smiles around the valley. Lee Bowyer certainly looks in a very happy mood. I wonder how he'll feel after the next 90 minutes of play. Off we go then. Nottingham Forest have only won 1 of their last 15 championship matches on their travels. Charlton unbeaten in their last 18 home league games. Let's see if the game follows the stats tonight, or whether those numbers mean nothing come full time. Even though Charlton, for the most part during that run, have been playing a division lower than Forest, they have very quickly made the championship their home this term, and have taken great confidence from having the Valley as a footballing fortress in recent times. Jonathan Lecco to Lyle Taylor. The two of them will look to form a strong partnership tonight and to test the likes of Dawson at the back.
Well, they're both very, very mobile. Actually, Lecco has gone down after this challenge by Michael Dawson. The Forest skipper doesn't do anything wrong. In fact, he's very deliberate and careful to make sure he doesn't make any contact with Jonathan Lecco. But I think it's the aftermath, awkward fall, that's caused a little bit of damage to the young man.
Charlton will be concerned not least for his welfare, but also for the fact that they just built a bit of momentum from kick-off there, and don't want to let Nottingham Forest off the hook here.
They're very successful in League One from corner kicks.
And it comes from Adomah, and Lecco with the flick, which very nearly caught Adomah unawares. Still there for Charlton. I think it was just a little too high from Tom Lockyer.
Well, what a start from Charlton. Said how good they were from corners last season. Wonderful delivery. Lecco helps it goalwards, and that goes down. There's an outstanding save from Adomah. Ball comes back in, and Lockyer just can't get on top of it. But what a start. Statement of intent from the home team.
That will be a real confidence boost for Adomah, who had a very uncomfortable debut for Nottingham Forest against West Brom. Charlton trying to make life very uncomfortable for Forest here. Ben Watson steering it away. Lockyer keeps the pressure going, keeps the ball moving. And that's a Charlton ball.
There's a fascinating contrast here between the two of them. Nottingham Forest, very, very experienced team. You look across their Forest lineup, there's only really the two lads in midfield, Tomato and Silva, and Muric haven't got extensive experience in the Championship. See, that's a rash challenge. The opposite applies to Charlton, of course. There aren't that many of their team that have got an awful lot of Championship experience, so it is a massive contrast, but so far the inexperience is the one that is on top of this game in the early exchanges.
Now, we did flag up that problem for Jonathan Lecco just a couple of moments ago, falling awkwardly. Just wonder if it might see him have to leave the field here. The concern is that right ankle, which he just seemed to turn as he fell off the field after the challenge from Michael Dawson.
There been a slight collision with the advertising hoardings as well that hasn't helped his cause. Keen to stay on, what a young man trying to make his way, come out on loan from West Bromwich Albion. Wants to take every available opportunity.
Charlton free kick here then, given away by Alpha Semedo with a rather rash challenge. Lecco has to wait to rejoin. Forest trying it on. Well, rather Charlton trying it on a little bit there to confuse Nottingham Forest. Adomah in the end with a relatively easy claim.
It was a little bit predictable, I have to say, from Adomah.
Here's Cash. Good comfortable catch for Dylan Phillips. First intervention in the game really from him. No doubt in the opening 4.5 minutes which of these two sides has settled better.
The Charlton fans will be thrilled, aren't they? I mean, there's been so much animosity between the fans and the owner. It's actually quite remarkable that they've had the success they've had with all of that going on in the background.
Elijah, it's a little bit loose, but it rolls Charlton's way. Snappy challenge there from Adomah. Lee Bowyer admitted he tried to sign him in January, eventually getting him this summer after his contract was cancelled at Bolton. A local lad, former Charlton youth player, born in Greenwich.
Talented, absolutely. A scorer of worldie goals, isn't he? Some of the goals, I remember him scoring at Walsall in particular. Didn't belong in League One and League Two.
Lecco trying to poke it through to Lyle Taylor. Pressure still on from Charlton. It's still there for them, perhaps. It's beautiful play. It's out to Lecco. And a tremendous block from Dawson to keep Nottingham Forest on terms.
I'm not really sure how this game is still 0-0 from a Charlton perspective. All very last ditch from Forest, isn't it? Struggling to contain Charlton. He will be a little bit concerned, you can see there already. Not the start he would have wanted from his boys.
Certainly the momentum with Charlton, the composure with them as well. Conor Gallagher didn't panic there when he had the chance to shoot. Nottingham Forest with enough bodies back to quell the threat for now. Naby Sarr on here to Ben Purrington. Gallagher back for Sam Field. Chance to run for Josh Cullen. Purrington on towards Taylor. Happy to run the channels. Always looking to try and get an effort away and on target as well. Cash back there to help out. He's been so used to playing in that part of the field as a right back of late.
Opportunity. Cullen picks up the loose ball. Wonderful delivery. He doesn't panic, does he, at all? Gallagher, eyes must have been lighting up, but again, Muric first with a save and Dawson with a very important block.
Muric, certainly the busier of the two keepers, and he and his captain are keeping Forest in the game at the moment. Elijah wins the battle with Adomah. It's one for Joe Worrell to control, and it was cool and calm.
Yeah, they just need to get their foot on the ball here, Nottingham Forest. Try and just take a little bit of early momentum away from Charlton.
Gallagher scrapping for it with Thiago Silva, who emerges with the ball. Jack Robinson to Adomah. Carl Jenkinson up in the air from Sarr. Charlton's turn to panic a little bit at the back. Here's Jenkinson, a former Charlton youth player. Switch of the play. A chance for Nottingham Forest to build something maybe here, but it's a little too long and too high for Cash.
At least that's a little bit better from the away team. to weather a little bit of a storm. The early exchanges. Lewis Grabban involved in that build-up. I think it's the first time he's touched the ball in the opening nearly 10 minutes here.
Both main central strikers for the two sides tonight have started well. Grabban with 2 goals in 3 games. Taylor with 3 in 3. Adomah looking for Oshilaja. Cullen, who's often there to offer his services to the fullbacks when they have possession. Adomah encouraging Purrington forward. Gallagher just losing out with the bouncing ball to Michael Dawson. It's been a bright start. It's been a pacey start.
Absolutely. Lots of energy from the men in red. Don't look like a side, do they, that have just arrived at this level? Certainly via the playoffs. Usually the team prevails in the playoffs. They've got so little time to prepare for the following season. They can often struggle. I think Rotherham last year obviously came straight back down, but something Charlton, on the evidence of this, will not have to worry about. It's about consistency, it's about performance levels. And they've set standards, and Lee Bowyer will be very, very keen for them to maintain those high standards.
It's interesting as well to see that they've now signed 14 new players. And quite often when that happens, a lot of people expect everything to fall apart.
I have to say, you look at the calibre of the players they lost. Aribo in the midfield, Bauer in defence, Bielik, Dijksteel. Feared the worst, really. Wonderful recruitment of free transfers and loan players. Certainly kept them very competitive on the evidence of this.
Lee Bowyer has said that the priority is to keep Charlton in the Championship. He's not getting too carried away with how they've started. Oshilaja sliding in. He was certainly helped out by teammates there. Cullen's pass giving Tom Lockyer a bit more running to do than he was expecting. Now Oshilaja worked their way out well. Leko continues to do so. Although Ben Watson wasn't messing about.
Just overdid it, Leko there. They certainly look neat and tidy, don't they? They certainly are a team that want to pass the ball through the thirds of the pitch.
Adomah, who in the last 4 seasons has been relegated twice and promoted once, has had campaigns that have been interesting for one reason or another.
Never a dull moment, eh?
Soundfield eventually finds its way to Gallagher. Adomah, Oshilaja, now Gallagher again with 2 to pick out in the middle and a third arriving. Dawson with enough on it to steer it away for now at least. Purrington just tried to steer it towards Taylor.
The experience of Michael Dawson, he read the situation, didn't he? Just nipped in front of Lyle Taylor and halted that attack. The opening 13 minutes for me, I can see why currently Charlton Athletic are the Championship's top scorers. They do throw bodies forward, don't they? The energy, create chances. Wasn't really their strength last season. They were the lowest scorers in the top 6 in League One. Strong defensively.
Tom Lockyer putting up the shutters there. Oshilaja happy to settle for a throw.
The only thing to say about football. When you are on top, and Charlton clearly are in this opening 15 minutes, that is the time where you want some reward for that. You really have to try and take advantage of it, get yourself a lead, because at this level things can change very, very quickly.
Well, I was at Derby Bristol City last night. Derby certainly controlled large chunks of that game, but Bristol City got the goals, and that's so often the difference in football, isn't it? When you're on top, you need to make it count.
And I watched Hull City v Blackburn Rovers, and in the first half Hull City were well on top, had chance after chance, didn't take it. Second half was a different game. And Hull City paid the price for not taking those chances, and that's what I'm talking about here.
So far, Aro Muric with his saves has kept the score sheet blank. Showed it to Matty Cash, then stole it away again. Cullen gives it, gets it back, and then gives it away. Nottingham Forest can come forward with Thiago Silva. Watson once again, who is the pivot in this Nottingham Forest team. Vast experience, of course. 34 years of age now. An FA Cup winner, scoring the winner for Wigan in that unexpected victory against Manchester City fully 6 years ago.
That's what I was talking about. He and many of his teammates, vastly experienced.
Here's Cullen trying to shake off Thiago Silva, and here's Forest to emerge with the ball. A chance for Graben maybe, although he's outnumbered and outmuscled in the end.
Well, at the moment, Lewis Graben is living on absolute scraps. He's getting no quality service into him. Fight for every ball.
One thing you are guaranteed here, whenever you come here, for a Charlton Athletic game, is an atmosphere. The locals generating one of those tonight.
It's gone from being an angry atmosphere to a happy atmosphere, hasn't it? Certainly whilst Lee Bowyer has been in charge. A wonderful job he's done.
Gallagher skipped away from Watson. Here's Cullen to Gallagher again. It's a lovely move led by him. Oshilaja, Oztuma. Samfield working it on as well to Gallagher again, and then Lecco and into Taylor! That is what he does best. The Addicts have hit the ground running in the Championship, and Lyle Taylor is a big reason why.
Well, first of all, you have to say it has been coming, and second of all, that is outstanding movement. It's all about the movement from Lyle Taylor. I spoke about how Michael Dawson nipped in front of him just 5 minutes ago using his experience, but this time he can't do anything about it, the Nottingham Forest captain, because that is a wonderful delivery. We don't quite see it from that angle or that one, but the run from Taylor to get across that near post was absolutely outstanding. And it's given his men the lead they thoroughly deserved.
4 championship starts, 4 championship goals for Lyle Taylor. What a start to the game it has been for Charlton as they look to continue their fantastic start to the campaign.
Well, they got the reward for their early endeavours. Now can they capitalise even more?
Oztuma saw the space, saw the run of Cullen. He's got options here, just couldn't pick one of them out.
Something
Forrester wobbling a bit here.
Something has to change for Sabri Lamouchi's team. Lamouchi's team are on the back foot. Can't get a hold of the ball, certainly not causing Charlton any kind of problems.
That will be a corner. And Nottingham Forest need to settle and need to do so quickly. There are some concerned faces behind that goal.
And rightly so.
Aerial options are plenty for Charlton here. And a few just getting a little up close and personal in that 6-yard box. It's busy in there.
He's going to need eyes in the back of his head here, Ollie Langford, the referee.
Plenty of runs to try and win the battle in the air. Niall Taylor happy in the end to use his keeper. And to start all over again for Charlton. It says much about this Charlton side that they have won 11 of their last 14 games. And albeit, as we've said before, obviously that was in League One for a large part of that, but when you get into that winning feeling, you keep it, don't you?
It is a habit.
No wonder he doesn't look happy, because Charlton have dominated proceedings from the off.
Absolutely. Literally, in boxing terminology, Forest have not laid a glove on Charlton Athletic. Could be more, could be worse. Were it not for Adomah and the Forest goal, two very smart saves as well.
Gallagher on towards Purrington, looking for Taylor. He just went a little early. Whatever happens now, he's already left his mark on the game, but he will be hungry for more. Strength from Sarr. No complaint from Matty Cash.
Have to find a way, don't they, Forest? They have to take care of the ball when they get it. They're not seeing an awful lot of it. And when you think Sabri Lamouchi wants to play possession-based football, it's up to play possession-based football. They are barely having a kick here.
To resort to slightly different tactics to normal. He's well aware that he might be quite busy tonight. Oshilaja to Cullen. Away by Jenkinson.
I don't want to worry Nottingham Forest fans, but this Charlton team have scored at least 2 goals in every single game so far this season. And like I said earlier, you can really see why.
Taylor after this one. Muric wasn't totally convincing and seemed to touch it on the way out, and indeed a corner is eventually given.
It's a good spot by the referee, Ollie Langford. I'm not sure the assistant referee spotted it. Again, clever movement. Adomah spots it. Nice little delivery, clearly comes off Muric's last.
Charlton have gone early with the corner. Sam Field. Good work from Jack Robinson, who scurried across from one side to the other. And it goes off Matty Cash.
Well, Forest spoke about them not being able to lay a glove on Charlton Athletic. Because to do that, you need the ball, and they are barely seeing any of it.
Tuma, nice bit of juggling. Also used the hand on the way. Wanted a bit of leeway from Oliver Langford there because he felt he was fouled anyway.
As if to illustrate the point, take a look at that. Doesn't happen very often, do you? A team from a lower level coming up and dominating a game in terms of possession. But it's not just the fact that they've had that much of the ball, it's the areas that they've had them in. They've had the ball in, they're using the possession well.
Naturally, just as we say that, the possession is lost. So often the way, isn't it? But it's quickly regained.
Yeah.
And here's Taylor. Echo making a run for him. Others joining in now. Naby Sarr. Trying to spread it for Elijah.
They were comprehensively outplayed on the opening day. Forest, they were outplayed against Leeds but salvaged the point, and that's why the Birmingham result would have been a real fillip for Nottingham Forest. But at the moment here, once again, they're being comprehensively outplayed.
And away from home recently, the form has been a problem, hasn't it? 1 win in 15 championship away games, 4 wins in the last 30.
It's a struggle for goals away from home, isn't it?
Of course, I suppose in football you always look at scorelines and say, well, it has been Charlton's game so far and they are ahead, but it is only 1-0.
Absolutely. I said earlier, didn't we, that it can change in an instant. That's what Charlton Athletic are going to have to guard against here.
Dylan Phillips. Ben Purrington, who's spent most of this game in the Nottingham Forest half. He's not really had much defending to do. Might have to work his way back now, though. Sammy Amiobi on towards Jenkinson, in towards Graben, and then it sails over from Alpha Semedo.
Well, it may sail over, but that is the first that Charlton have seen of Nottingham Forest. It was wonderful play, sharp passing from the edge of their own penalty area leads to an attempt at goal. Like I said, it may have been well off target, but what went before is the first sign of what they're capable of.
And when you're up against it, you need to take positives from moves like that. Certainly have the players on their day to cause real problems for teams, as Birmingham City found out at the weekend. Forest throw in. Josh Cullen wanted a Charlton free kick. Amiobi. Trying to pick up the ball and get Nottingham Forest to go through the gears. Nice little jinking run, just forgot to take the ball with him and then brought Cullen down. He was a player who gets through an awful lot of work in the centre of the park.
Yeah, busy. And he's one of the players they will be very mindful of, Sammy Amiobi. He's one that can make something out of absolutely nothing.
Phillips to Lockyer. Elijah. And Naby Sarr. Leko. Gallagher. Elijah. Breezing past Amiobi and trying to create the opportunity for Taylor. just wasn't expecting the cross to come in as quickly as it did.
I think the diagonal ball was so good and so long, it actually caught Lyle Taylor out a little bit. You know, he had too much ground to make up to try and get on the end of that cross.
Cullen trying to make up some ground, but Robinson made sure he didn't get there. Cullen. Elijah. Taylor's hovering. Purrington's up there too.
They do get good quality delivery, don't they, from those wide areas into dangerous areas. They get it out wide. Quality's right, causes defences problems, and Jenkinson maybe gets a little lucky there at the far post.
Well, he can be so dangerous, sniffing around that penalty area. Top scorer for Charlton last season, 25 goals, 21 in the league. Only James Collins scored more goals in League One last term. Jenkinson. Just robbed of possession by Alpha Semedo. But when Charlton lose it, at the moment, they tend to get it back.
They get it back very, very quickly.
Just remember, you can see all the goals from the Championship from tonight and yesterday. This evening, 10:15 Sky Sports football. Well worth the watch. Another chance to see Lyle Taylor's from tonight. I sense there might be a few more on the offing here.
I think the Lyle Taylor on the pitch and Lewis Graben at the other end, anything is possible, isn't it, really? Speak about how Charlton's the most important thing they did in the summer was keeping Lee Bowyer, but certainly keeping Lyle Taylor wasn't far behind that. Scored in every game now so far. I know Brentford had a £4 million bid turned down. You can see why Brentford wanted him.
And he cost Charlton nothing. Remarkable that in the era of huge transfer fees that there are quite a few gems out there.
Yeah. Well, I did Bournemouth against Villa the weekend, and there was Callum Wilson, King and Ryan Fraser, £400,000. How's that for a bargain?
Here's Cullen for Charlton. Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. How they would love a second goal to really get a grip on this game in terms of the score sheet. Lecco for Cullen and back again. Just being monitored closely there by Alpha Semedo.
If you leave Borough, you really don't want this half to come to an end, and certainly feel slightly aggrieved if you don't have more than a one-goal advantage.
Gallagher. Watson got a foot in and brought Gallagher down.
Good skill. There was the challenge from Ben Watson. It does catch Conor Gallagher.
So another chance for Charlton to cause some chaos here. Cullen for Adomah. unable to hold off his man and produce quality with the ball. And here goes Cullen. Lecco had a few options there and perhaps wasn't quite sure which one to choose.
It's another nearly moment.
Purrington will start them off again.
The opposite to Lee Bowyer, if you are Lamouchi, you do want this half to end very quickly.
There's Adomah for Purrington. Gallagher. There's Adomah. Tangling there with Matty Cash.
There must be an element of frustration from Matty Cash. I think he's the player on the pitch that has touched the ball the least so far. He's barely been able to touch the ball, considering he's supposed to be one of the creative forces in that Forest team. A really frustrated figure.
Cullen. It's fired in towards Adomah. Lecco onto Sam Field. Cullen once more. So many bodies forward for Charlton, they might make this one count. Muric managing to get gloves to that to shovel it away from danger.
Vital intervention again from Muric. Once again, you can only but admire the build-up play from his team. They're sharp, they're quick, they're accurate with their passing, dynamic in their movement. And Forest simply struggling to contain them.
Taylor making it stick for Charlton. Purrington. Sanfield steering it to safety. A little bit casual from Oshilaja. But in the end, Nottingham Forest can't profit from it. A little bit rushed from Semedo. Adomah. It's a great turn. Dawson just about managed to pinch that away from Lyle Taylor, but his heart rate was pounding a little bit there.
Absolutely. It's all very last ditch, isn't it, from Forest? Very last ditch, very sloppy. All over the pitch, giving the ball away. I need to tell you what he's feeling at the moment.
Down goes Taylor, no foul. Officials in agreement. Once again, though, Charlton very swiftly have possession back. This time, with strength and perseverance from Grabban, but it'll be a Charlton throw. He can be so dangerous, but he just hasn't had any real service of any quality.
Earlier on, living on absolute scraps. Even had a sniff of a goal. Off the top of my head, I can't even remember one Forest attempt anyway, the one that went over the bar. It was at the end of a decent move, but from that they've offered absolutely nothing.
Away by Joe Worrell. Purrington looking for runners, finding Lecco. Purrington sets off himself. Was he caught late? Yes, he was. Yeah. It was Jenkinson who stuck the boot in.
Again, fantastic determined play, gets the cross away, and then the challenge comes in. The referee's absolutely right.
Not running at 100% after that challenge, Ben Purrington. One of Charlton's 14 summer signings. More up than out, and he very nearly paid for that.
Well, he deserved that bit of good fortune, really, because he's the difference. He's the only thing stopping Charlton Athletic from totally running away with this game.
Dawson is just the kind of experienced character who needs to try and settle his teammates down at half-time. Let's not forget he's been to a World Cup. It's that kind of experience and mentality that's required for Nottingham Forest in these final moments of the first half and then the second.
So this is the kind of thing that I felt Nottingham Forest needed to be doing in the opening 10 minutes, really. Just getting the foot on the ball. They don't particularly have to be going anywhere with it. Just keep it.
Thiago Silva gets it back from Sammy Amiobi. This is Cash. Manages to dig one out. There are plenty of takers. And then it's slashed over by Thiago Silva.
Again, only really the second piece of football that Nottingham Forest have put together. Good build-up play. Finish from Thiago Silva. Well, he's so much better than that. Leaves a lot to be desired, doesn't it? He's up high, wide, and not very handsome.
He'll get his chance to speak to his troops in a few minutes' time. I'm not sure that many of the Nottingham Forest players will be relishing that chat.
He's played the same formation in every game, you know, the 4-4-1, but they are getting completely overrun, and I just wonder whether he'll have it in his own mind that something needs to change.
Well, the Nottingham Forest head coach travelled to watch Reading against Cardiff on Sunday, then Manchester United's trip to Wolves on Monday. Says he wants to take in as many games in this country as possible to fully understand the game in England. He won't be enjoying watching this one so far. And now Ben Watson is shown a yellow card.
He's just done by quick feet from Cullen. Can't really argue it is worthy of a yellow card.
Phillips searching for Taylor. Watson using Dawson. Cullen somehow beating Amiobi in the air. And here is Cullen looking for Oshilaja. Adomah was there, and his presence perhaps put Jenkinson off. Touches it behind for a Charlton corner.
Well, for me, it's a massive couple of minutes here for Nottingham Forest to be able to go in, having been totally dominated. Just the one goal behind. They've got to survive to half-time.
It's fair to say, if it does stay this way, that maybe Charlton will go in disappointed because they haven't stretched their lead, but that could happen here. No takers in red, and the last flick was off a Charlton player.
You have to say, you have to look for a positive. The positives for Charlton is that they are playing wonderfully well. dominating this game. And the positive for Nottingham Forest is that they're only 1 goal behind. Still in it, when maybe they shouldn't be.
Jenkinson's header back to Dawson, it just about gets there. This is Worrell. Jenkinson for Dawson. Worrell to Graben. There'll be a little bit of time added on due to the injury to Jonathan Lecco.
Fourth official has indicated a minimum of
2 minutes to add on.
2 minutes.
2 more minutes till Nottingham Forest can regroup and work out the plan for the second half. And from Cash, out from Sarr, and again from Cullen. Taylor was looking for Lecco but couldn't quite pick him out. Cash certainly can hit them. It might roll for Graben, and surely he would have tucked that home but for the intervention from Tom Lockyer.
Well, that is absolutely brilliant for Tom Lockyer. That is as good as scoring a goal. Outstanding defending. More frustration for Lewis Graben. Must have felt he was about to find the back of the net. Perhaps an undeserved equaliser.
Amiobi. Room for Jenkinson and for Graben, who once again had the goal in his sights. And once again was thwarted, this time by Sarr.
A little crumb of comfort for them. Enjoy that defending. He had to get that absolutely perfectly. Any contact on Lewis Graben, it's a penalty kick. Wonderful intervention. Good fortune with how the ball arrives at Lewis Graben, but that is first class from Tom Lockyer.
Another summer signing, another free transfer. Well, it's been one-way traffic in the first half, really. Charlton well and truly in control of the game. Lyle Taylor scoring his 4th goal in 4 championship games, continuing Charlton's bright start to the campaign. They started very quickly here as well, and Nottingham Forest haven't really had the answer to it, albeit they could have grabbed one right at the death of that first half. A superb tackle by Tom Lockyer, keeping Charlton's lead. At the break, the majority inside the Valley are happy because Charlton lead by a goal to nil. Welcome back. It's all Charlton really here at the moment. Here are the stats from the first half between Charlton and Nottingham Forest, and as you can see, Charlton leading in terms of possession hugely there. Attempts and indeed corners as well. It has been all about the home side. And let's have a look at how the half has panned out, because Don, as we've said, really, from the first minute, Charlton have been quicker, they've been stronger, and they've been creating chances like this.
Yeah, absolutely, and were it not for our own Muric in the Forest goal, Forest would be so far out of sight and the game would be almost up for them, but they got away with that very, very early on. Good delivery, good header from Lecco, and what a save from Muric. Little did we know at this point, as we see Lockyer on the follow-up, can't keep the header down, what was to follow.
And the combination of Lecco and Taylor have caused problems from the off. Backed up by Cullen, and the fullbacks Oshilaja and Purrington really get them forward well. Gallagher here foiled again by Muric.
Oh yeah, the goalkeeper really spreads himself well. Conor Gallagher shows wonderful composure. Just wonder whether he could lift that over the goalkeeper, but take nothing away from Muric.
And Adomah has been another lively customer in the middle of the park for Charlton, and he started moves off at times, but it's been the combination of Lecco and Taylor which has really done the damage, and there's the finish. 4 in 4 for him.
Yeah, outstanding. And the movement to get away from Michael Dawson is exceptional. Of course, you need the delivery from Lecco, who provides it. But Taylor, it's the movement is the reason that he scores the goal. He's not going to miss once he gets into that position.
And as you can see from these highlights, Oshilaja has had an awful lot of opportunities to get forward and to get Charlton moving, and Cullen's energy's been vital, as of course for Forest has been the hands of Muric.
Yeah, they've been outstanding all over. And towards the end of the half, there were 1 or 2 more bright spots from Nottingham Forest. There are few and far between.
Matty Cash has been largely frustrated trying to get forward. This was the effort that was rather lashed over by Thiago Silva.
He just doesn't set himself, rushes, snatches at it, like a composure. But this was the big moment, wasn't it, for Forest?
And this is where the likes of Cash can be lethal, and Graben, when he has time, albeit there he didn't have time because of Tom Lockyer's challenge.
Yeah, I mean, he get good fortune as the ball bounces into his path, but Tom Lockyer, that is a goal-saving challenge to preserve a very well-deserved lead for Charlton.
Wonderful challenge that, and despite the Charlton domination, the game is still there for Nottingham Forest. We will take in the second half very shortly indeed. So we're waiting for the two sides to join us. And Charlton will be looking to continue the momentum from that first half. Nottingham Forest having some words from Sabri Lamouchi to try and get them going, get them back into the game. There were signs of revival towards the end of that first half, and Lewis Graben very nearly having a golden chance to draw them level. Some super defending, keeping them quiet.
Welcome back to Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest back on the field. Starting the game tonight, 12th in the Championship, albeit very early days for a table, of course, but 5 points off the top and just 3 points off the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be looking at those numbers at the moment. I think what will concern Sabri Lamouchi the most is that performance. It simply was nowhere near good enough, and if they go through the whole season operating at that level, they will be in a relegation battle, let alone what they want, which is to be in a promotion battle. And if that is the case, you wouldn't back, with the history of Nottingham Forest recently, Sabri Lamouchi seeing out the end of the season. As for Charlton, I mean, they've got their fans dreaming, and it's not because of the results necessarily, but the performances that are going with the results have been excellent. They've brought the confidence of a successful season last season into the start of this season, and they look a real team in that first half.
And you talk about the manager of Nottingham Forest. The last boss at Forest to start and end a complete season was Billy Davis in 2010-2011. Certainly not calling Sabri Lamouchi out, of course, now, but I mean, it's just interesting to look at that and think there's been a long time since there's been long-term stability at Forest, and he is having his say, or has had his say now, to try and get his team back on track in this one. Off we go again. There have been 42 contests between Charlton and Nottingham Forest down through the years. The two sides cannot be split. The numbers stand at 14 wins apiece and 14 draws. So far, this one has been going Charlton's way from the beginning, but half-time can change everything. A few words and a regroup can change everything.
Absolutely. I suspect the Nottingham Forest coach will give this second half maybe 10 minutes, and if nothing changes, I think he will be making changes. He'll have to make changes.
Jack Robinson with a throw. Movement comes from Amiobi. This is Semedo. And the run was made by Watson. This is Graben. Semedo just slipped at the vital moment. Robinson. Left by Semedo, and then Cash couldn't really get hold of it.
Encouragement for Forest at the start of the second half.
Nico chasing. Dawson heading to Jenkinson. Gallagher certainly felt he was caught. And that's invention from Thiago Silva. Here's Amiobi. Robinson. Semedo. Jenkinson getting involved.
This is better from Forest.
Amiobi for Thiago Silva. Room for Jenkinson, who thought about it. Cash. Needs a bit of backup. It's in towards Robinson. It's there to be fought for. But the referee didn't like the way the challenge was made on Phillips.
Well, Lewis Graben's got every right to go for this bouncing ball. Phillips just take a blow. It is a foul, but certainly a striker's entitled to go for it. And that's about the most sustained 3 minutes that Nottingham Forest have had in terms of both possession, in terms of getting the ball out wide. There have been 2 or 3 crosses into the penalty area. A bit of encouragement at last for the Forest fans.
Something to concern Dylan Phillips. Long for Taylor. Looks for Cullen. Thought for a moment he had a throw in. Silva taps it back for Watson. Sloppy pass, which is seized on by Oshilaja. Cullen. Navisa. And Leko. Trying to drift past Dawson, who stayed with him. Field back to Purrington, who just ran out of room. Muric on for Robinson. Thiago Silva. Jenkinson with a bit of room, with a few options as well. One of them is Matty Cash, in towards Graben, but it's asking just that little bit too much.
And again, it's another scenario where they get the ball out wide and get the delivery into the area. I mean, 5 minutes into in the first half, I think Muric had already made a save. It was like the Adomah, wasn't it? But there was no sign of that at the start of this second half, and that could spell trouble for Charlton. Their tempo definitely dropped a little bit.
Dawson takes it off Leko. You can see he wasn't happy with the attention he was getting from the Charlton forward.
looks a little ginger, doesn't he? Jonathan Lecco. There's nothing wrong with that. Either way.
Josh Cullen with the corner. Norwich making it look easy. A fair bit of attention from Taylor and Lecco. Here's Adomah. On for Robinson. Thiago Silva. Didn't get his angles right there. Sanfield. Encourages Oshilaja forward. Lecco. Just trying to drop the shoulder to squeeze past Robinson.
Lively, isn't it? All the new players, to be fair, slotted in seamlessly.
There's Adomah helping it on and getting it back. Gallagher. Just tried to poke it through for Taylor. Wins it back, largely thanks to the work from Naby Sarr.
Scoring away goals. Consequence of that is last season conceded first 17 times, Forest, and only managed to win one of those games. It's not a great record.
That really saps the confidence away, doesn't it, when you know that first goal's gone in, if you don't have or seem to have the ability to produce a reaction.
Heavy reliance on Lewis Grabban to score those goals. If he's not going to get them, where are they going to come from? They have to find answers to that question.
Norwich was relieved to see that one fly past Taylor. But he's got it back now, looking for Lecco. Away by Dawson, and then Thiago Silva, and then Semedo, who was fouled. And Lockyer's going in the book here.
Cynical, wasn't it, really? Couldn't afford to let Semedo get away. There's the trip and the pull.
So yellow card for the Charlton centre-half. Off go Forest again with Grabban. And now Jenkinson. We're certainly seeing more of the ball in this second half than he did the first. And that is a foul by one number 11 on the other.
Slightly contentious. Assistant referee made that decision.
So potential here for Nottingham Forest. And towards Adomah, away by Sarr as far as Watson. Dawson still up there. Many behind that goal screaming for some holding.
Well, it wasn't decisive defending from Charlton. We've got a game on our hands here when perhaps we shouldn't have. Spoke about taking advantage of your dominance when you're on top of the game, and Charlton just the one goal to show for it. I feel that Nottingham Forest feel a little bit encouraged. First 10 minutes in this second half.
Watson beaten by Adomah. And he's looking to set Taylor away. Muric very quickly out, and there's Tuma going for the spectacular.
It was a good starting position from Muric, very important. But he was out far enough to be able to intervene there.
You're right, though, this could have quite easily been over inside the first 20 minutes, but as it is game on here now. Mistakes are being made too, which is always likely to create opportunities. On that occasion it was Amiobi, and then Semedo, who was a little slack on the ball.
The difference is you felt Lee Bowyer would probably be sat comfortably in the first half because his team were in total control, but you can't really say that now.
Cullen for Oshilaja. Goes Tuma. In field, on to Sarr. Allowed to keep running, and happy to do so. Oshilaja, room for Taylor, and that's always dangerous. It's Taylor, it's Lecco, and it's over the top. What a golden chance for 2-0.
Well, he's holding his arms out to Lyle Taylor because the ball arrives at his feet on the half volley. I mean, wonderful work, wonderful movement, but just lifts that up, Lyle Taylor, and that makes it an awful lot harder. I'm not saying Jonathan Lecco hasn't got the ability to hit the target from here. He certainly has, but the job could have been made easier for him. I wonder if they'll come to rue that, because that is a glorious opportunity.
And it's an opportunity that comes against the run of play, really, at the start of this second half. Here's Semedo. Samfield picks off the pass. And now Taylor can run again. With assistance from Oshilaja, and Worrell had to be swift.
It needed a better ball from Lyle Taylor. And Oshilaja made a fantastic 50-60 yard run, but that ball from Taylor just gives Ben Watson a chance to prod the ball away.
And it might have given Oshilaja a problem here. The ankle just turned as he was challenged.
You see here, it was Joe Worrell, wasn't it? But yeah, that left ankle just turns a little bit. Nothing wrong with the challenge from Worrell.
Cullen's corner. Easily seen out by Jenkinson, or at least eventually away by Forrest. Purrington happy to go home. Rescued by Ostuma, but it might cause problems for Charlton here. It's Cash. He needs a bit of help.
Well, I have to say, that is poor from Matty Cash, because he had a little square ball. Lewis Grabban was in the clear. I'm not sure whether Matty Cash ever really lifted his head up. Does well there, wins the ball back. Grabban is free. Can you square it? You see him at the top of your picture there, but just holds on to the ball too long, and that allows Charlton to get numbers back. Look at Grabban's reaction.
Oshilaja is still struggling after that challenge moments ago. And let's remember, of course, he's in tonight with the injured Chris Solly. Charlton will give him a few moments just to see if he can run it off. It's a high boot by Taylor.
Going back to that moment, that is how fragile a one-goal lead can be, no matter how well you have played.
Going to see a Charlton change, and it's the end of the debutant, Tuma.
certainly think they will have enjoyed what they've seen of this man. Wand of a left foot, low centre of gravity, can really create things. Very creative player. And here's another one.
Yes, Johnny Williams comes on, having started the 3 previous championship games. Part of that Wales side, which of course impressed so much in Euro 2016, getting to the semi-finals. Here's Taylor. As it escapes from Adomah, and then he catches Oshilaja. And Charlton are infuriated by that tackle.
I have to say, Jack Robinson has done well for Lyle Taylor here. As the Charlton skipper was infuriated by that challenge. Now, it seemed to me that Adomah got plenty of the ball. It was just the follow-through, really.
Well, Oshilaja was just running off one injury, and he's picked up another one. Oliver Langford's given himself a bit of time here to think.
I'm not so sure, honestly. I just think he's got plenty of the ball. He's pleading his case. The only possible reason he can be even seeing a yellow card for that is it was aggressive. He'd just been robbed of the ball by Oshilaja. I just wonder whether there was an element of frustration. Threw himself at the ball, and for me, clearly gets the ball. There it is. Oshilaja nicks the ball back. Goes over the ball first. It's a secondary movement that wins the ball, isn't it? Well done to the referee. It's a good job I'm not one.
Well, Lyle Taylor was furious on behalf of his teammate. And whether he feels the right or wrong decision has been made, he just needs to try and keep a lid on emotions. We are going to see a double Forest change. Rafa Semedo, the first to go. We're going to see a league debut for John Bostock for Nottingham Forest. It feels like he's been around for years and years and years. He's only 27. Signed on a season-long loan from Toulouse. And Matty Cash also departs. Albert Adomah comes on to add pace and trickery. Plenty of time to have an impact.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The 2 new players for Forest have really got to get into this game quickly, get into the pace and the tempo of this game. Sometimes that can be difficult.
Up and under from Cullen, which Bostock wins. Watson wanted more time than he had. Oshilaja certainly looks to have recovered.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
.25 minutes to play. Potentially a fascinating 25 minutes to play. Bostock's touch. Didn't quite find Jenkinson. He's got another opportunity, though, to pick out Muric this time. And Muric finds touch.
I have to say they started this second half pretty well, Nottingham Forest, the first 10 minutes, but certainly the last 5 minutes. Charlton just gaining a modicum of control again over this game.
Just confirmation that Lyle Taylor was booked for confronting Sammy Amiobi after that challenge on Oshilaja.
When we saw the replay, you can understand why Lyle Taylor wasn't happy with the challenge. Not always easy, I speak from personal experience, to contain your temper, your anger.
Here's Lockyer. Centre half playing right wing temporarily. He will be in no rush to distribute the ball to a teammate for the throw. It does come a point when you start thinking about what you have you hold. I don't think we're there quite yet.
Dangerous. It is a dangerous thing. That's why you need the cushion of a second goal. They've been excellent, haven't they, the fans tonight? They always are, but really made fantastic noise in here. Really got behind the team right from the offset.
Pick on by Williams. Taylor was there, but so was Joe Worrell. He and Michael Dawson have got through a fair bit of work tonight back there. Oshilaja. Nice from Taylor. Bostock having to make an impression straight away, having come on. Charlton trying to wrestle the game back from Nottingham Forest.
Such is the mood in here, even the little mistakes that they make get a round of applause, don't they, for good intent.
Here's Robinson. Oshilaja's header. Williams trying to make something of it, and he was fouled by Bostock, says the referee.
That's a naive one from John Bostock. Always getting away from Johnny Williams. Like I said, I just feel the last 7 or 8 minutes or so, Charlton have just regained control a little bit.
It's a waste of a free kick, though, isn't it, from Cullen? Muric will try and get Forest going again. Worrell. Now Bostock. Slowed down by the presence of Taylor and Gallagher. Thiago Silva. Bostock. 3/4 of the game gone now, but it's still there for either side. Adomah into Robinson for Graben, maybe. There were just too many there in red, and then a questionable challenge on the edge of the penalty area.
It was Sam Field. He'll be lucky. Not going to get away with the second one, but Forest are furious. Ben Watson absolutely furious with the challenge that Sam Field has just put in. Michael Dawson joining in. Didn't look a good challenge from Sam Field. Does well initially, and that's a penalty, isn't it? And a red card, and that's the reason. Again, we have to say, if that's in the Premier League and we have VAR, both of those things are going to happen.
Well, Sammy Amiobi, understandably, looking at that replay, is in some distress. And you can understand the reaction from the Nottingham Forest players.
Your first impressions are usually the right ones, and it's a poor challenge from Sam Field. I hadn't realised it was inside the penalty area. Fortunate to get away with it on 2 counts.
It looks like Sammy Amiobi potentially is fortunate here that that injury is not a very serious one. There is some communication between the officials, but as you say, there is no VAR, so nothing will be looked at. But on a different day in a different competition, a very different outcome.
Still in discussions, isn't he, Ben Watson? The referee, how have you missed that? Sure is the question.
And on such incidents, games can massively change. So can Nottingham Forest exact a bit of revenge from this? It is Bostock. It is straight at the wall. Amiobi. Bostock again for Albert Adomah. Did well to create space. Away by Cullen. And Elijah completes the clearance. Leko does well to keep it in, or not.
Been pulled up for a foul. Perhaps wanted an advantage. Lovely skill, but disappointing. Not to test the goalkeeper. Back to Gallagher. Wall does its job. And still, really, you have to say, Dylan Phillips hasn't had a meaningful save to make all game.
Williams back for Leko. Watson with the challenge this time. It's getting a bit spiky out there. The boots are flying in. Amiobi was fortunate to seemingly be absolutely fine after that tackle. Field. Again looking for Leko. Worrell just about getting there first and dealing with the danger well.
Excellent, really is excellent defending from Joe Worrell. His positional play allowed him to get across ahead of Jonathan Leko, who is very quick. It was outstanding from the young defender and retained possession.
Still just 22, Joe Worrell. Amiobi. Flick back for Jack Robinson. Adomah was waiting. Here he is from Jenkinson. Thiago Silva wanted to tee someone up, but it just didn't happen. Robinson presents it to Dylan Phillips. He's gone early.
Really a wise to give Johnny Williams an aerial duel with Joe Worrell, really, from the goalkeeper. Only one winner.
We're at that stage of the game, though, aren't we, where the blood gets pumping and you perhaps get a bit ambitious.
Could be a tense finish on the cards here.
Amiobi. Elijah for company. It is a Nottingham Forest corner. If everything stays the same as it currently is in the Championship, Charlton will go top tonight. 15 minutes for various things to potentially change.
Substitution for Nottingham Forest, replacing number 19, Sammy Amiobi.
Sammy Amiobi is going off here.
14,
Rafa Mir, on a season-long loan from Wolves, replaces him. Amiobi certainly not 100% happy as he leaves the field. He'll wander off to get checked out after that challenge on the edge of the penalty area.
The that's a reasonable substitution. They need a goal here.
Substitution for the Adams replacing number 28, Sam Fields.
Sam Fields' league debut for Charlton is over.
Number 10,
Chuck Sanike, another one of the summer signings from MK Dons. He's on in his place, already a scorer this season.
Not very often a manager will make a change at a corner.
And in fact, it's a double Charlton change. And Jonathan Lecco is going to make way. Darren Pratley, having already come on, Chuck Sanike replacing Lecco. So 3 changes as we prepare for a corner. Has that unsettled anyone in there? It looks like it might have done. It has. Adomah pounces. Nottingham Forest have something to celebrate in this game at last.
Well, I have to say, I said it was unusual to make changes at a defensive corner. I can understand making a change as an attacker at an attacking corner. And the other thing about the whole thing there is you kind of got the feeling the only way Nottingham Forest were going to score was if they got a little bit of a kind and lucky break. And Charlton don't deal with it at all. Lockyer turns his back, the ball hits him, and falls invitingly for Adomah. Not going to miss from there.
12 minutes to go, and it could be a frantic 12 minutes as well. Out comes Phillips. When you think that Charlton seemingly had everything under control in the first half, it's not going their way now. Don't forget all the championship goals tonight, 10:15 on Sky Sports Football, and there are plenty to see.
Can they respond, Charlton, or can Forest go on and do the unthinkable? Let's take 3 points from this game. So goals change games, don't they? Because they change the mentality of players. But Lockyer is not really looking. It's doing a spin. Charlton don't deal with it. And Forest get the lucky break. It falls perfectly for Adomah.
Taylor towards Anike. And away by Muric.
Charlton fans are going to blame you know that, don't you? Saying that they'd go top if things stay the same. Commentator's curse.
Yeah, address all mail to Mr. Don Goodman. Lyle Taylor was enjoying a celebration in the first half. He's a picture of frustration at the moment. The question is, which of these two sides can push on and try and turn 1 point into 3?
The one thing you can almost guarantee is that there will be another genuine good goal-scoring opportunity for one of these two teams in what remains of this game. I'm absolutely really confident about that.
Watson on to Jenkinson. Thiago Silva. Here's Adomah. Now Gallagher. Forward for Anike. There's Taylor with him, but it was Adomah who just got the boot to the ball. And then it was late from Anike.
To stand strong at the back there, haven't they? Michael Dawson and Joe Worrell.
Adomah turning away from Purrington. There's the support of Jenkinson. Warrington thought he'd won the ball back. Nottingham Forest feel they should have had something from that.
Well, how's Carl Jenkinson not seeing a yellow card for this? Blatant shirt pull, hauled Johnny Williams back. And Forest were feeling that that was a foul by Purrington. And then how do you get away with that? And Carl Jenkinson.
It was a relatively chilled out first half in terms of the discipline side of things, but the second half has sprung to life in that vein.
It wasn't really a contest, it wasn't really competitive, it was one-way traffic.
And from Williams, that could go anywhere. And Aaron Muric has already been caught out like that once this season against West Brom. That one, though, just drifting away.
Nevertheless, must have been a heart-in-mouth moment for him.
8 minutes left. Here's Cullen. Oshilaja. Gallagher. Anike. Plenty of pace on that cross. It was a tricky one to tame.
I'm not sure it was aimed for Chuks Anike, certainly not for his chest and at that pace.
Offside against Graben, which the referee will go back for. Well, we haven't always seen pure football from these two sides, but there's still drama, isn't there, just because of the way that the chances have fallen and not always been taken, the challenges that have flown in this second half particularly.
I thought Charlton played some wonderful football in the first half. They really, really did, but I said at the start of the second half, they didn't pick up with the same intensity. Just allowed Forest just to maybe settle into the game for the first time.
Anike with a wild kick. It says much about how the second half has developed, but Forest are keen to get on with it.
It's been a contest, hasn't it? Well, there wasn't really one in the first half.
Plenty of room for the effort from Rafa Mir.
Feel there's an injustice taking place, Charlton, and the players and the fans and the coach. They can't afford to be thinking about that. Got to get on with what's at hand. Still time here.
There's Thiago Silva. Midfield has been a busy area tonight. Hugely competitive. Times the two centre forwards have not necessarily seen the ball they thought they might see. It's been the odd stray pass, the odd distribution going awry. Lewis Graben still has been relatively quiet, but he still could have a big say. Mir for Watson. Robinson, now Adomah opens the game up for himself and for Graben. This is Jenkinson. Well, the question for Oliver Langford was there a foul there, in which case, which way?
I'm not really sure how he picked the bones out of that one, to be honest. He will feel this. There's going to be points that get away unless his team can muster another goal here. going right to the end against Barnsley, didn't they, to salvage a draw. And we will expect them to do the same here.
Nottingham Forest last season lost 12 points in the final 10 minutes of matches. Only Rotherham and Wigan let more slip away. And those 12 points would have clinched Nottingham Forest a playoff spot, finishing 5th and knocking Derby out.
See, I don't subscribe to that theory, because what about the other teams, that the points that they dropped? I never really thought last season at any point that Nottingham Forest were genuine, serious playoff contenders.
Every team indeed can say if, but, and maybe.
Absolutely. You just thought you'd wind the Forest fans up by saying they could have knocked Derby out, didn't you? I know your game.
Here's Thiago Silva. Graben. Room for the shot, certainly, but it just took off and kept on going.
He's lived on scraps tonight. Lewis Graben hasn't really had a genuine goal-scoring opportunity. And actually, you talk about hitting the target, and Charlton Athletic haven't actually had a shot on target since they scored the goal. And that may surprise some. Had some good moments that have just gone begging.
Not many would have predicted at half-time that Nottingham Forest would have had more attempts than Charlton in this game, but such has been the second half. Johnny Williams caught late. Carl Jenkinson will get at the very least a lecture here, which will be followed by a card. Swings it over delightfully, but Muric manages to beat everyone to it.
Yeah, Darren Pratley might be joining Carl Jenkinson here. There you go. You said, didn't you, about Forest's desire to get on with the game quickly, feeling that they can nick a winner here. Muric in doing that, impeded by Pratley.
Well, you can't follow the goalkeeper with the ball like that. Darren Pratley, the latest in the book. Plenty of second half paperwork for the officials at full time. Inside the last minute. Charlton let it roll away. Robinson. Adomah. The touch from Williams was important there.
See the board, how much longer?
5 added minutes. Plenty of time for a winner.
Absolutely.
Jenkinson will take the throw. Stayed in play apparently, so Cullen will continue. This is Pratley, and now Williams.
They haven't quite carried the same threat, have they, Charlton, in the second half? All the balls they were getting out wide and good quality delivery into the area in the first half. We haven't seen too much of that.
Williams. Corner ball. This is where If you're of a Charlton persuasion, you just want one good delivery into the box to test everyone aerially.
I did allude earlier in the game to how good they were at set pieces, at corners. Last season, scored more than anybody from corners in League One.
Lockyer is up, so is Dawson. Out to Gallagher. Away by Robinson. And now Nottingham Forest can counter. Plenty of bodies in this attack, which is led by Graben. He's got space. Phillips is out quickly. Williams is in there as well. This is Adomah. Panic stations for Charlton here. Still whipped across dangerously, but eventually dealt with. Scare-em stuff in added time, and a strike which just didn't quite dip enough from Thiago Silva.
You can see exactly what he's trying to do, and very, very worth a go from Thiago Silva, who has, in the second half, much more of an influence, the kind of influence Nottingham Forest will need him, will want him to be.
Dawson's header, halfway through the added time. Shilaja comes to meet Graben. This is Worrell. Space for Bostock. Graben. Purrington combine to stop Forest for the time being and then draw the foul.
If you're Albert Adomah, you should know better. You've got Darren Pratley in a corner, in trouble. Make no contact. Do not give that assistant a chance, an opportunity of raising that flag.
Chance territory really now, aren't we? Anything now would make a massive difference.
I have to say that Charlton haven't been the same force in the second half, and Forest have been much better. Alluded to it, didn't we, in the first half, when Charlton was so dominant, about capitalising on your dominance and what can happen at this level if you don't. It may have been a game that they may have won last year in League One. But it's now or never if they want to win the championship.
Well, it's so often the league of late drama. Anike's header nearly fell for Taylor. Cullen keeps it moving for Charlton. One last chance for a victory here, which is snuffed out by Jenkinson. Pratley's sliding intervention. On from Sarr. This is Taylor. This is Anike. And Worrell got there first.
Again, absolutely brilliant.
And that is it. A really competitive contest with its moments of quality and controversy. Two very different halves. The first was all Charlton, the second bossed by Forest largely. The home side could have been out of sight at the break. The visitors could have had a penalty and a man advantage. On a different day, it could have worked out in a very different way. But it ends here at the Valley. Charlton 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Well, it's been a busy couple of days in the Championship and a busy night tonight. Plenty of goals flying in. And it's interesting to see Cardiff City 2-1 against Huddersfield. Two sides who drew 0-0 twice in the Premier League last season. Fulham going goal crazy at home against Millwall. Leeds 1-0 against Brentford. Preston heaping more misery on bottom of the table Stoke City, and Swansea bagging 3 at Queen's Park Rangers. Reading also 1 up at the Hawthorns. So the table as it stands, not including that West Brom Reading game, as that is still a later score. Charlton had the chance to go top tonight, but end up in 5th, but they'll still be delighted with the way they've started. It is Leeds at the summit, which many predicted. Swansea City, though, right up behind them. Steve Cooper doing sterling work in South Wales. Fulham, after those 4 goals tonight against Millwall, making up the top 3. The playoff spots, Fulham, Sheffield Wednesday, who went top last night, Charlton and West Brom, as it currently stands in their game at the Hawthorns. Cardiff move up into the top half. Nottingham Forest at the top of the bottom half, if you like, just ahead of Derby County. Stoke, Huddersfield and Luton starting to be cut slightly adrift, but with only 4 games played.
Sports Action. Feel it all.